You look at our urgency, wasn't there. You know, even from the start. Again, understanding we haven't accomplished anything, and we feel comfortable. And when we feel comfortable, things tend to go south for us. So we have to stay hungry. We have to, keep fighting. But we didn't have the edge, and it showed in that, second half. We didn't come out with the same fight.
Pump the brakes. No surprise, Bucks coach Jason Kidd was disappointed after his squad fell at home to the 76ers. There's been a lot of talk around the Bucks, the way Giannis Antetokounmpo has emerged, Jabari Parker playing well as well. But the team right now just at 500, 20-20 on the season. Antoine, have we anointed this team too quickly as the next big thing? Is that an overreaction? Have we been giving too much love to the Milwaukee Bucks?
I don't think it's too much love. I think what you got to look at, the very good teams in this league, they compete very well against them. And I think that's what gets people excited. When they play the Golden State Warriors, when they play the Cleveland Cavaliers, they compete with those teams. So it makes you feel like they're not far away from being at that level where they can compete on a night-in and night-out basis. And you listen to Kidd, he knows that. But the problem is their roster's not filled out yet. They're missing a big part in Chris Middleton that gives them some three-point shooting. I think the point guard spot, they could use another point guard. And I think they got to figure out who's going to be that guy to come off the bench. You know, they play Michael Beasley, who's a scorer that comes off the bench,
that
has some skills. He studies searching night in, night out. I think that's what he has. You got two guys that are going to be superstars in this league, two forwards. What are you going to put around them to make them good night in, night out? I think they have to figure that out, and they've yet to do that.
You think they have an issue? What do they do with Greg Monroe? Do you think he'll be a piece of what they're doing going forward? Do they need to look to trade him? Is that an issue in your eyes?
No, I think when you look at Greg Monroe, he's been very effective coming off the bench, a low post guy. He get featured when he comes off. They get an opportunity to feed him. It seems like this year he's bought into that role. He's embraced that role of coming off the bench. He's a guy that gives him double figures off the bench. So they paid him to come in and be a big-time free agent. Obviously, he's not. They probably didn't think Jabari was going to come back as quickly as he did and as good as he did to become possibly an all-star in this league in a year or two. So I think that kind of slowed up Greg Monroe and building around him. He's a slower throwback player that wants the ball in the post, plays a more slower-paced game where you got two athletic forwards. So I think coming off the bench, he fits into that. You got to have a team.
Right.
You know, it's not all about, your two superstars sometimes. To win a championship and to be a consistent playoff team, you got to have 8, 9 guys that can play, and I think he's a big piece of that puzzle.
Can you get guys to go to Milwaukee? You drafted Giannis and you drafted Jabari Parker. You mentioned we're getting Chris Middleton back. I mean, do you have to trade for guys? Because I don't know if you're going to get free agents to go to Milwaukee. What's your take on that?
I think you can. I
Really?
think guys are going to be interested in playing with those two guys. I think, when Parker and Giannis, I think they're going to be interested in playing with them. It just depends on what you're looking for. Their weakness right now is going to be at the guard spot. Maybe, necessarily, I don't know if you need a traditional point guard with those guys because they're so versatile, they can handle the ball so well. But just adding shooters around them, maybe adding a hustle guy, a guy to do some of the dirty work that allows them to be stars on their team. So they're right there. They're 500 right now. It's going to be very tough for them to make the playoffs. You got about, 5 to 6 teams that's going to be in that hunt as the second half of the season takes off. But I like where they're at right now, potentially where they could be.
And you think that guys might be attracted to Milwaukee?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one guy
I'm
who's
gonna tell you, Jason, and just to add, Jason Kidd's there, a guy that played in this league that's well respected. You get in front of a big time free agent. Jason Kidd can talk you into coming.
Oh, yeah?
And
Jason
they got a new stadium coming. They got a new practice facility coming. They got some things working out there in Milwaukee. They're about ready to go. New ownership group. So they're getting to that point now where they're going to be able to be one of those top teams. And in the East, you got to feel good.
Not as competitive as the
LeBron's
West. Yeah.
don't get me wrong. LeBron's probably going to be on top for the next couple of years, but he's getting older. It's going to be a new regime coming in there. You're talking about guys that are 21, 22 years old.